So Voting Rights Act is being gutted. And, typical stuff from the Republicans. Hot take: if the Democrats actually did anything with the Voting Rights Act and actually treated it like it was intended to be treated, and protect black people with it and lobby for black people's interests with it, then it wouldn't be threatened right now because it would be Democrats in office. But they don't give a fuck about that. Anyway, I digress. So, but what I want to talk about is the reason that the Voting Rights Act is being gutted and who's primarily responsible for it. Another hot take: Ruth Bader Ginsburg, rest her soul. This woman stayed in office beyond everyone's advisement and recommendation, including Obama. But Obama was a milquetoast guy, so he wasn't going to force her to do anything. But she stayed in there, and the time passed where we could have made real inroads in kind of stopping this red wave on the bench of the Supreme Court. And people don't want to blame her because, like, in DC, they have murals of this woman. I mean, I get it. She's like, I think she's, what is she, like the first or the only white woman on the Supreme Court? So yeah, okay. But I'm not a woman and I'm not white, so I don't care. But essentially, they have murals for her in DC. And I've heard women talk, just praise her like she's some sort of a deity, like a judicial deity. Which, anyway, neither here nor there. But that leads me to another topic, because this is like a microcosm of essentially how white women are treated in society. And they're treated in a few different ways. They're given preferential treatment, one. They are held completely unaccountable. There's no accountability. And three, there's zero scrutiny applied to decisions that they make that might be, no matter how harmful they may be to individuals or to groups. And we definitely don't address that. That's the 3 points. And we definitely don't address, actually, a fourth point. The fourth point is dealing with black people's relationship with white women from a political standpoint. White women are not held accountable for any of their participation in undermining black people as a collective, politically and economically. It's saying because, and the reason is because of white liberalism. White liberalism has kind of taught people that anti-black, white, racist groups, individuals, and systems are a result of patriarchy. This is getting into like the northern liberal, kind of thing. It's like Democratic Party stuff. But that's the messaging, is that white supremacy, anti-black specifically, white supremacy is purely a result of patriarchy. So it's a male phenomena. It's a male-driven phenomenon, which is not true. There's no historical context that will show that to be true. It's a complete deviation from all reality, all empirical evidence. This shit don't even pass the sniff test. And specifically, when it comes to black people's relationship with white women, and this is, I've said this to people over the years a bunch of times. If you really quantify the amount of looting that white women have done, extracting dollars, resources, via grants, employment, legislation, if you could quantify the amount of those things that white women have just looted from the black community over the past century, it would be in the billions. And I'm not even being hyperbolic. I'm being very serious. Affirmative action alone, white women single-handedly gutted affirmative action and took it from black people. And specifically, to be more specific, they took it from black men, because black women do share in affirmative action to a certain extent. Black men do not at all. And it was primarily intended for black men because no one would hire us. We were ostracized politically and economically. And we were also just being murdered all over the place, so that part. But they used affirmative action, they exploited it, and they gutted it, and they took all of the set-asides and jobs from the black community. Not to mention set-asides for grant money when it comes to nonprofits, for business grants, to grow minority businesses. These were all set-asides because there was an unequal playing field, specifically and only for black people past a certain point. And they needed to be addressed. So we lobbied, died for, fought for legislation that could begin to, like chip away at the disparities. So if you added up all of the jobs, the resources and money that white women have used with this minority thing, if you quantified it, I believe you would see that white women have single-handedly removed generational wealth from the black community. And then to add insult to injury, they pop up with these fucking nonprofits and act like they're just these bleeding heart liberals and they just care about blacks. And then they generate more revenue and they fundraise with it. So not only did they gut us for a bunch of resources, they then turn around and pretend to be allies just to generate more money for themselves, which also actually puts them in position to control the resources that they kind of serve as like an intermediary, like a middleman, kind of controlling the resources that we're able to get. And being that middleman, they're able to, enrich themselves and so on and so forth. But yeah, man, it's a dirty game, man. It's treacherous. And I'm tired of people just acting like white women aren't the problem too, right? Like they're not the only problem, but they're definitely one of the main problems.